I had one of our great entrepreneurs at one of our network team, and I made the mistake of saying, an entrepreneur is never afraid. He's like, no, you're plenty afraid. You just don't show it. And you just, so I kind of get the feeling from all of you that that's a characteristic. And give me some characteristics of an entrepreneur.
You just never bite the bullet. Well, you'll never get anywhere.
And I'm his thinker. In the middle of the night, I've been known to reach over and wake him up and say, what do you think about this idea? It's a what idea? But you have to always be open to ideas, because there might be one that is really a good one, and you don't want to let it go. But he's my gauge. He's got his feet firmly planted on the ground. So it's good to have someone with all these ideas, to have someone right next door to him to grab their hand and keep them from flying, to keep their feet on the ground and make wise decisions.
I was thinking about how I have employees, 4 other women that are wonderful, and they kind of keep me grounded, but boy, they don't want to own the business. I've talked to them about it, but then I've realized there are people who own businesses and people who work for them. And you have to be a certain type. I don't know if I can describe what that is. I used to be very afraid. I used to sit on the floor in my office and cry. But I think the years go by and you realize, well, I did that year and I did it next year, and you just learn kind of as you go. So now you think, and you don't panic. I think I can see the girls that work for me sometimes just freak out and panic. Ooh, what are we going to do? But you just have to be calm and secure and know you can do it. Confidence, I guess. And have a little bit of a lot of different parts of you. Not only do you have to be social and friendly and customer service, you have to know bookwork, and there's a lot of different things that go into it, but not panicking, I think, anymore anyway.
You just hide it well.
Yeah, that's right.
You learn to be the calm in the storm, even if underneath you're just going, oh my God, now what do we do? Mm-hmm. But and having a good team, that you can depend on. I am lucky, my brother and my brother-in-law, we all have different expertise. My brother and I grew up in the business, but I was in the accounting part of it. My brother went off and is an engineer, but he's got his business administration, so we use him for strategic planning. And my brother-in-law always was in the building industry, so we all have different strengths, and together we just are a good team.
I think being positive too. I know I had a customer come in once, and people ask me how's business. Business is always great. Business is good. It's really doing well. I'm, good. Positive. But they were in a gallery and wanted to buy a painting. And they said, I really wanted that painting, but the person in the gallery told me, oh my God, things are so bad. Things are awful. I just don't know how we're going to make it. And he said, I walked out of there. I wasn't going to buy that painting. And so you can't do that. You have to be, and you have to have a really up atmosphere where you are. I think people come in my store because they've had a bad day, they want to feel better. They want to feel good. They want to see color. They want to feel good. And all the women that work for me are great and pretty and fun and friendly and all those things. So
it matters.
It matters. Oh, it matters huge.
It is so important how you talk to people. And sometimes I don't know when to quit. But, I grew up in Taos at a time when our parents knew the artists. They were in our house or we were in theirs. And I have great stories. I have great stories like wearing Mabel Dodge Lujan's old evening gowns to play act in. She would give all of her old evening gowns to my Aunt Rowena Martinez. Myers Martinez.
People like to know about
so people like to hear those stories. So I might not always be waiting on the tables at breakfast, but I'll go around and they'll ask me questions. It might be about Taos or where a good hike is, and I'll tell them. Now, there's this one, and this one, but this is my favorite. And they'll always come back and say that was their favorite, too. But, you know, to tell stories about the people who lived here. Ehi Cow's studio was right across the street. The first school was on that property. And it was a first coeducational school. Padre Martinez brought the first printing press to the New World, and he printed the books for it. But more important, it was a coeducational school. We were trying to become role models for the rest of the world. So things like that are really important. And I think Tom wants to say something about hiring people of different ages. He was working on our house at the time we bought the first piece of property. So we pulled him off our house. He never got back there until now. But he's been working for us for 24 years. I mean, it's just wonderful. I mean, sometimes you just get a gem, and they'll stay with you forever. These women will work until they can't work anymore. And they're grateful for the job. And sometimes we'll hire young ones, you know, high school kids that want to work on weekends and wait on tables and, you know, do dishes, stuff like that.
They can't count.
And you can't count on them like you can the older ones.
So work ethic, would you say, is a
Very important, yes. And you have to be fair with your people. And we are. We pay them. We don't ascribe to the fact that we're not going to pay ourselves, so we can't pay you. We have to pay them because they have to make their bills just like we do. And we don't want them to go on unemployment. So we might have to, well, I already had one bad experience with that. But actually, that was only a year ago. I hadn't had any trouble before that. But anyway, just getting them to feel like it's a family, and you treat them like they are. Know their children's names. And when the little one-year-old becomes 2, you're invited to the birthday party, too, and you have a best time in your life. You know, it extends your family, and it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It's really a good thing. This little